morning. Good foggy morning. I caught myself wiping down the camera and I think I made it worse. Good morning. How was everyone's weekend? Yep. Good to hear. Positive thoughts. You had a wonderful weekend. I already put this down. So you shouldn't be able to go down lower. Let's get this party started. Good morning. Ready for a half-hour walk? I am. Yeah, I said I was going to pick this up. Once we started the 4th month. How you doing? Well, I guess that's the tour. What can I say? Oh, what I wanted to tell y'all about. Oh, okay. This is what I was thinking about. All wanted to tell you guys that because I was listening to Scam Goddess. It's an iPod. Something happened. Like I write screenplays. I've written screenplays, plays, one book, one children's book, and I've always kind of been like a visual person. And I started listening to the radio. And I attribute that to my stepmother. Because she used to listen to AM radio every time, for the whole time she was awake and moving. And so I listened to radio. And then from radio, best librarian in the world, Leslie Hunter, she got me into listening to, she got me listening to audio cassette books. Turned me right on, hooked me. So, I listened to this iPod my daughter turned me on to called Scam Goddess. And I'm sitting there thinking about the one time I was scammed. Well, they tried to scam me. I had to be like 24. I was coming from this temporary job in New York City. And I think I was standing at the bus stop. That should have been a sign to let them know don't scam me. Oh no, maybe I was walking. So this girl comes up to me. She says, oh, she had this Caribbean accent. Oh, I just came here and I left my country with a whole lot of money and I don't know anybody here and I don't feel safe. And she takes this thick envelope out and like splashes them, like the little money, you know how you fan the money. And I didn't see the whole stack. I just saw bills in the front. And all I had was my check from the temporary agency. And trust me, there was very little to that. And it was that racket. They made money off me. The temporary agency made money off me. Then I paid taxes, state, city, and everything taxes. By the time I used to get my little temporary check, please, tip working check, it's hardly nothing. Anyway, so I'm walking down the street, just puzzling the fact that this is not any money. I mean, and she comes up to me and that's when she shows me. And she said, oh, she said, if you give me money, then I'll give you the envelope. You can hold the envelope for me. And I give her money, and then when it's safe, good morning. When it's safe for some of that, hey Canada, good morning Canada. If it's safe for something like that, somehow we would exchange the money back. So I felt sorry for her because I didn't have no money to give her. I keep forgetting to say hello Canada, good morning Canada. Excuse my rude behavior. Anyway, so I felt really bad. And I'm like, I wish I could help you, but so this guy walks over to me. And she goes to him and she tells him the same story. And he's like, oh, you know, if you could really help her out. And I'm like, why are you really helping out? I didn't have any money. We already passed 5 minutes. How fast this walk is. Anyway, out the corner of my eye, because we're on 5th Avenue and 40-something. So I just came from the temporary agency. So we could have been 5th, 42nd or something like that. But I think maybe a little high. Anyway. So at the corner of my eye, something tells me it's Madison Avenue. I see a police car coming down Madison. Now, in my mind, she told me how scared she was. She was scared to have all this money. Somebody could possibly rob her. She didn't know what to do. She was crying. She was hysterical. I had no money. So I see the cop car coming down the corner of my eye. So as they're standing there talking to me, I go over to the cop. I literally flagged the cop down. They must have took off. I didn't even look behind me. I flagged the cop down. He came over. And I said, girl, when I think about that now, that cop could have blown my brains out. Anyway, I said, officer, I said, this lady, she needs help. She has all this money. She's afraid to be in the city by herself. And she stopped and asked me. So the cop is like really like smiling, laughing, and he says, well, where are they? And I turned around. They was gone. So I was like, they were right there. They was right there. She had this envelope full of money. And he said, don't worry about it. And they pulled off. So I was staying with my sister at that time. Yeah, so I had to be younger. I had to be younger than that. Anyway, so I went, and my brother-in-law was home. And I'm telling you, you would not believe what happened to me. Well, they about fell out. They thought it was the funniest thing in the world. He kept asking me to repeat. And what happened? You flagged down the police? And I said, yes, because... But they was on the floor laughing. I said she was crying. She had all this money. Somebody was going to rob her. So after they finished laughing, he says to me, Vicky, they were scammers. They were con artists. Hey, thanks for coming in the room. I was like, no. This woman was so visibly upset. I mean, she had the tears. And somebody robbed her. And I know in New York, honey, they'll rob you. She wasn't from this country. She had like a Caribbean accent. But, so I'm doing my stretch outs and I'm listening to Lacey. Scam Goddess. And then my mind goes to another scam that was ran on me by the dental profession and the pharmaceutical company. So, back in the 80s, the early 80s, maybe about 82, 83, I hear on the news that this kid went to the dentist and the dentist started cleaning his teeth, and the boy had a heart attack. So, time goes on, they find out that the reason why the boy had the heart attack was because he had a heart murmur, and when they were cleaning his teeth, bacteria got loose and attacked the heart. So now, before this, I was going to the dentist 1 or 2 times a year. So I go to my dentist's office. We're at 10 minutes already. The walk is almost over with. So I go have a dentist appointment, and I get a call. There's a prescription for antibiotics for you at the pharmacy. You need to take them before you come into the office. So I go in there and I'm like, what's going on? What is this about? Well, you have a heart murmur, and you gotta take antibiotics now. And I mean, when I say antibiotics, the dose was such, I would almost be doubling over. Because you had to take this large chunk before and this large chunk afterwards. So, I'm like, okay. But after 2 visits and all them antibiotics, I gotta tell you in all honesty, I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. The sickness that I would feel. But you gotta go to the dentist. So even for them to look in your mouth if you have a heart murmur, you gotta take antibiotics. So, 2 times this happened to me. I have this toothache. I make an appointment. I go to see the dentist, and they're asking me, your physical record, and I put heart murmur. And when the receptionist reads it, she says, no, he can't see you, you have to go, and I'll get him to give you a prescription, but you have to go and get the medication and make another schedule another appointment, because without the antibiotics, he can't see you. So I'm like, okay. So years go by, because I'm like sick to getting sick, I find myself back at the dentist. And it's clearly there on I went to a clinic that I went to. They had a dental department. And it's clearly there right on my chart. Maybe they don't share it. But I was surprised because when I made the appointment and stuff like that, and no one said, take this prescription, go get your antibiotics. No one said that. So, I go in the office, the dentist comes in, she flips open the chart, and she says, are you pre-medicated? And I said, no. She said, you have to get out of my chair. You have to get out of here. You have to go get medication. I can't see you. You're trying to get me to lose my license. This boy flipped. And I was like, okay, I'll get a prescription. So the whole thing, sick as a dog. Then they broke down the antibiotics in these 3 huge pills. One before, like 1 2 hours before, one right before, and then one right after with antibiotics. Sick for days. Stop going to the dentist. 4 years ago, the dentist I found up here where I live, I make an appointment to see her. I said, could you call the prescription in to the pharmacy. She says, we don't do that anymore. You don't do what anymore? I still got a heart murmur. What don't you do anymore? We don't give you antibiotics. I said, no, you do, because if you clean my teeth, because not only was this in the news, but over the years, this is what dentists tell me. If I do something to your mouth and release a bacteria into your body, it will basically infect your heart. So now she's looking at me and she's telling me, I don't need it anymore. Hey, we're at a 15-minute mark. Oh, I hope I remember to tell you the rest of the story. This morning walk has been brought to you by I Like to Say Yes. Keep the yes in your child's vocabulary by reading I Like to Say Yes to your child. Listen, yes makes raising a child very easy. It lets them know that they trust you, because they really can't do anything else. They don't pay rent or bills or anything like that. So, if you train them and teach them to say yes to you, yes, Mommy, I'll get my book bag. Yes, Mommy, I'll get my rain boots. Yes, Mommy, I have my book backpack. When you ask them a question, they say, yes, Mommy. You know, just makes life a lot easier. Order, I like to say yes through Archway. I get the lion's share. Barnes & Noble and Amazon. And look what I got this morning. Happy days, happy days. I'm taking my gum out. Happy day. Oh, good morning. Hey, good morning, Diane. Hey, Nielsen. Thanks for coming in. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Diane. Love, hugs, and kisses from Canada. Well, love, hugs, and kisses from America to you, Diane, and the Canadian people. This is the juice I made. It has the beet tea that I have left over, apples, granny and red, carrots, pineapple, ginger, kale, and spinach. Mm. Wow. Wow. Thirsty in places you don't even know you're thirsty. Way different than from that corporate juice that my daughter got me. She was just being a sweetie pie, because it takes me like an hour more to juice. So let's get our fast walk on, and for 5 minutes, which I walked a little over 5 minutes. Squeeze your gut. Oh, it's celery. Squeeze your gut. Squeeze your gut. Don't forget to squeeze your gut. Less than 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes. Less than a minute. Squeeze your gut as hard as you can. Less than 20 seconds. Well, no, we got 40. I didn't start to 26 after. So to get the whole 5 minutes in. Okay. Even it out. Even it out, y'all. Whew. Whew. Yes. Put your hands up. Thanks for coming in. Put your hands up and breathe. Yes. Put your hands up and breathe. Whew. Yes, thanks for coming in. I'll read your comments afterwards. Oh. And that was a nice walk. Fast walk. So, talk about my scam by the dentist, the dental society, and the pharmaceutical companies. So, I said to this doctor, what do you mean no more antibiotics? I'll die. She said, no you won't. I said, yes I will. That's what they said. They've been telling me this for over 35 years. Remember it was in 82, 83 when they started me on antibiotics. Every time I went to the dentist. and how I got kicked out of this office, and how this one told me I can't treat you until you go get the antibiotics. Why? Because you'll die. You could die. So I said, well, what about I could die now? So she looks at me and she says, well, that's not going to happen. And I'm like, I'm older. Y'all was putting that stuff in me when I was 24, 25, 26. I was in my 20s. Hell, at the time that it wasn't going to affect me, it was then. But you made me take all these antibiotics. Now, at 60 freaking 3, you tell me it's no danger to me? Long story short, I haven't been back to the dentist since. I just keep taking my vitamin C so I don't get the scurvies. And brushing my teeth. And que sera. Can you believe that? So that was my con. And oh yeah, and then what did they start saying? Well, I said, well, why? What happened? What changed everything? Well, we found out that we were really weakening the immune system. You couldn't have just found that out. Antibiotics do that. And it takes out the bad stuff with the good stuff. What are you talking about? You said it didn't matter because if I sat down in the dentist chair without it, I could quite possibly die. I have been so sick on different antibiotics just to go to the dentist. I would have to make my appointments on Friday just so I could spend the whole weekend in bed being sick from the antibiotics. And now you tell me that it's totally unnecessary. It was a scam. It was a scam perpetuated by the Dental Society and the pharmaceutical companies. Yes. Yes. But there ain't gonna be no class action suit, nothing like that. So I said, thinking about that to say, the issues I have with doctors is deeply rooted, and I have more cases like that. I also worked in an accounts receivable department in a hospital, but it was for 2 hospitals. So I can back up what I'm saying and how I'm feeling. But that dental scam, that still cut me to the quick to this time. I mean, in the beginning, you had to take, so like I said, before you walk in the door, and then the after. You would literally OD on antibiotics to save your heart. Just to find out, over 35 years later, okay, 82, 92, 102, okay, next year, we went through it in 30 years. So, a 25-year scam. Can you believe that? Oh, here's another thing. This guy said, well, you know, we found out that people were giving away the antibiotics. I was like, hell yeah. Y'all used to pound me with so many antibiotics. There's no way you thought I would take that. Oh, I was supposed to save it until I come back next year. Hell no, I was on the phone. I got some antibiotics. Y'all need them? Who ain't got no insurance, got an infection? They'll pile me up with them. Literally pile me up with them. And then They said no. You don't need them. I looked at that dentist. I was like, you probably a young person, and you was probably, when they told us to start taking this, you was probably in diapers, or your mama ain't had you yet. So in my mind, I'm saying, you don't know. So I called the health department, and they said yes. And I'm like, y'all fucking scammed me. You fucking scammed me. You know I didn't have to take all them antibiotics, but you wanted the pharmaceutical companies to get their money and then work together. Because see, a lot of your doctors invest in the pharmaceutical companies. That's what you don't get. So a lot of your diseases is to fit his investment, not to fit your condition. Ooh, woosah. All right, let's check our fingers. Ooh. So, Lacey talked about scams. She don't know. When the pharmaceutical company scam, please, half them the prescriptions for OxyContin, scams. Didn't need them, but they had to move to OxyContin. Don't talk to me about no doctors and ethics or dentists and exes. Y'all amuse me. When I leave here, it's going to be not because of nothing they've done to me. If I have my way, I'm trying to steer clear, honey. I wish they had a computer where I could prick myself and put a drop in and it'd give me a readout. I can do my studying on how to heal myself. Right now with this eye thing, I wish they had something that I could attach that I could see, he can see, but I can see and go through and find out what's going on with me. They see, I love me. I love me madly. I know ain't no man I ain't never met before love me more than me. Ooh, child. I done talked. Beat him to the tuck in the elbows. Squeeze your gut. 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. One for good luck. Ooh. That's my little notepads I have. Well, yes. Wait a minute. Okay, yes. Wait a minute. We did it, y'all. Another day of feeling good. Another morning of feeling great. Brought to you by, I like to say yes. Keep the word yes in your child's vocabulary. By Rena. I like to say yes to your child. Hey, thanks, y'all. Hey, Joan. Good morning, Smith. Hi, Benjamin. Hey, Jane. You guys came. So cool. Keep encouraging me. Thank you. Thank you. Half-hour walk. See you in the morning.